right, y'all. Welcome back, man. It's your boy D Friend back in the building for another episode of D Friend Daily. I think it's like episode number 143, 144, something like that. One of them episodes in the 140. So we're back to here today. I ain't gonna lie, pretty slow, like news weekend, news week. Ain't really too much shit going on. So we're just gonna tackle some of these big topics that I'm seeing going on around today, floating through social media, real life, the big media corporations. So probably the longest thing I'm honestly gonna talk about today is the whole like January 6th election shit coming up, because I think that's real important. And we're talking about the new gun laws they're proposing and how that affects it, because I think we should implement important things into the news as well, even over some of the things that we kind of like frivolous shit that we might not is here today, gone tomorrow. But anyways, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Turn on post notification every single time that I post on the channel. D Friend Daily on SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes, all those things wherever you listen to your podcast. So the first thing I want to get into is the case of Young Thug, right? So last night or the night before maybe, there was Summer Jam High 97. A lot of people took to the stage. They spoke on Young Thug. They spoke on YSL. They were asking, the people to, hey, please sign this Protect Black Art petition that they got going on so that, artists' lyrics can be used in the court of law. Meek Mill, he got up there. He had like a minute-long spiel about it. So let me play a little bit of that for you real quick.
So basically, if we charging people for their crimes, I'm basically guilty of everything they talked about, because I talk about the same things. So for the people that support us, I want to say support Young Thug, support YSL, support Gunna. Write them guys, make sure you hit your officials, your governments, whoever's in control in your town, and fight for people like us that fight for you guys, black art, protect black art, because now they're using our lyrics against us and taking that into a courtroom, and this is a way that we found a way to feed our family and make millions. So if you ever see any movements involving Young Thug, Gunna, that involve protect black art, I'm one of the ones that have cut just silently fighting. I hope y'all silently fight with me, loudly fight with me, and support the ones that come from the same place we come, because any chance I get, I try to make sure I support my neighborhood and where I come from, the people that represented me and made me who.
All right, so you got on stage this thing. This is the thing about that, right? So I agree that you should not be able to use lyrics to indict people, right? Because I would assume it's protected under the First Amendment. We got the right to free speech, yada, yada, yada. If I say something vaguely like, hey, we got 100 Choppa shots, we got this, we got that, I don't think you should be able to use that against me, even though I may have a situation in real life that you might have caught me on where I actually sprayed out 100 shots at somebody. That's different. But I do think like it's lacking a little bit of context. There's a lot more in that indictment than just, it isn't just like they was like, hey, we got Gunna. Gunna shit was kind of like a little iffy, but hey, we caught this guy. He said this in a rap. Arrest him, send him to prison for the rest of his life. It's a little bit more detailed than just that. Now, if it was solely, hey, he rapped about this, let's give him 40 years in prison, that'd be a different story. Now, they are using it in a way to keep him behind bars without bail. They are making him seem like the big bad wolf using his lyrics. But as far as the charges, I just don't believe that there's a place. Any judge, I would think, wouldn't allow you to use rap lyrics to indict somebody. And if so, it should be taken to the highest court. It should be taken up to the Supreme Court, because in no way, shape, or form should your rap lyrics be used against you. No way your movie lines, your movie script should be used against you. Any art, country, Korean pop, whatever, all these different genres, if you're making any type of art, it should not be able to be used against your court law. But like I said, I think the YSL, I think the Young Thug thing, I think that's a little bit more different, because they actually have a lot of situations, wiretaps and phone calls and video evidence that, shows that it's a little bit deeper than the lyrics, right? It's a little bit deeper than that. But anyways, with that whole case though, right? So it's gearing up. It's going to be in, I believe they said January is when I think Young Thug's part's going to take place. He also had a video board message on there that said, hey, we here. This isn't just about me. It's not about just YSL. It's about black art in general. We need to protect this. We need to sign this petition. And I do think that there should be a law in place where you can't use lyrics to indict people, right? Now, if someone just blatantly says, hey, I killed Johnny at 34th and 3rd 3 weeks ago, like I think that's a little bit different. But vagary should be protected, right? But also, I don't think this is good for Young Thug and YSL either. So the DA in their case, as we know, I did a story a couple weeks ago about an 18-year-old who got arrested with felony terroristic threats for threatening to kill the sheriff, threatening to kill anybody that's associated with the takedown of YSL. And I said in that video, I wholeheartedly don't believe that has anything to do with Young Thug, But it's not a good look publicity-wise if people are willing to kill officials in your case on your behalf. Whether you instruct them to or not, it still don't look good. So now the DA came out a couple days ago, and she made a statement that she's getting a lot of things, a lot of death threats, because she's also trying to take down Trump, and then she's also trying to take down Young Thug at the same time. So she got two factions coming at her full force, trying to get her up out of here. So anyways, the story reads, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis has added to the security detail following the indictment of rapper Young Thug. According to WSB Channel 2 News, Willis also added protection due to threats from the supporters of former President Donald Trump after she announced a special grand jury in Georgia will be investigating events connected to the presidential election. So Willis has received death threats, including that provided instruction on how to use her public records to find her house. The DA told reporters that while her life had been threatened, she doesn't believe the rapper or anyone involved with the indictment is involved with the threats and implied some wayward fans could be responsible for the threats. Like I said, it isn't. Like I said, she doesn't believe Young Thug and them are telling people to do this. I don't believe they're telling them to do these things. But I just say, in a judicial setting, having a guy who has people willing to kill people for them doesn't look good, whether it's indirect or direct at all. That's how I think about it. So anyways, we don't believe these are directed by them. She also said the threats from Trump supporters led to her increasing her security. It is definitely a significant driver of the heightened security, she added. People are angry about the investigation. People are angry about investigations into gangs. So each of these things play a factor. The district attorney also noted that one individual who threatened her had apparently found out where she lived, and that person seemed to have information about where my house is actually located. Willis said she would not be intimidated from doing her job. So we all know the difference. We know the story, why they're going to jail, why they got locked up, the page on the indictment, the RICO charge, all the things like that. But like I said, it just doesn't look good. As a reflection for them, not necessarily due to them, but just a reflection around their identity, around their lifestyle, around whatever. Having idiot fans going out there and threatening DAs and people like that. If you want Young Thug and them to be free, you need to paint these guys in the greatest light possible. Shower these people with roses. Make them look like the greatest examples of his human beings on earth. Make them stand next to Gandhi. Make them, it's kind of like with the we talked about the story with what's his name. They're trying to free him. Larry Hoover, right? When they said, hey, we wanted to humanize Larry Hoover. That's why we wanted these videos of him speaking nicely, speaking eloquently, showing growth, showing these things. That's what you want. Because at the end of the day, a lot of this shit is about perception, how you can make somebody paint out to be. That's why you have the prosecutor painting Young Thug as this big, bad villain in the darkness, the shadow behind all the things that go on in Atlanta. They're painting a picture their way. Don't add to the picture that they're already painting. If they're thinking Young Thug is a guy who controls the street, he controls people, do this and that, they're all pawns in his game. Don't backdoor threaten to kill DAs on behalf of YSL. Like I said, directed or not, it just don't look good for Young Thug, for Gunna, for anybody else that's in this crime wave of YSL in this RICO case. So that happened. Right, that happened at the government ball as well. Also, Roddy Ricch got arrested for a gun. It was like him and three other guys got arrested for a gun, but he's out. They dismissed the charges. He got on stage, said, the fuck the NYPD. The whole thing, like, you get arrested, something happens, you go out there, fuck the police, yada, yada, yada. Even though the police are the ones out there protecting you from, fans and things like that in that nature at that time. But I get it. If you was wrongly arrested, wrongly whatever, yeah, fuck you for wrongly arresting me. But if you actually, I never understood this. If you're actually doing something, and you get caught doing something you're not supposed to be doing, I just don't get the interaction. Like I said, dirty police, things of that nature, planting shit on you, yeah, fuck them. But if you get caught in the act of actually doing something, I just don't understand that logic. I don't understand people's mindset when they're like, yeah, fuck them for you doing something illegal. But whatever. He was there, he got dropped, he's good. He went out there, performed, missed the governor ball check, but he went and got the Summer Jam check, so he's all good to keep rolling and go on tour with Post Malone. So, like I said, wrap that up. Death threats for the DA, death threats for them, Young Thug and them cases going on, rolling. So I want to talk about the other side of the coin with this one, right? Shout out Flying Low, salute to you. Well, no, I get the wind up. I want to talk about this real quick. How do y'all feel about the whole natural medicine wave? Like the natural, like, hey, I can get you the fruits and the herbs and it can heal your body from this and we can do this. Pretty much like the formula that Dr. Sebi set up before he passed away, that now people have obviously found out about, they've probably experimented on, and they've come down this path thing, right? So NLE Choppa is, I would assume, a student of Dr. Sebi. I'm not dissing, does these things work? I do feel like natural medicine has its place, and it probably does work for certain factions, certain things. If the food can kill you, I can assure you that there's probably plants that can heal you. That's just how I think about it in that nature. But we saw over the weekend, Justin Bieber had some like face thing going on. He got like half paralyzed this way, and like I forgot what it was called, like Ramsey's disease or something like that. So NLE Choppa, being the scientist that he is now, the herbologist that he is, he came out and said that he had a cure to help Justin Bieber, cure his Ramsey's disease. He said, I tried to have my label DM Justin Bieber on Instagram. I didn't care if it was sent out because I don't run it. But can y'all please do me a favor and let him know I have the help. I have what can help. I promise. I just want to help and heal him. Right? I'm all for it. I take sea moss every day, black seed oil. I also take other things, eat organic. Like I said, I'm saying I'm sure there's foods that help your body stay in top personal form. I don't know about curing whatever Justin Bieber has. So anyways, DJ Vlad. We all know everybody hates DJ Vlad. For whatever reason it is. Y'all think he's the Fed. Y'all think he's a culture vulture. I get it. He's a white guy talking about hip-hop. Everybody who's a white guy talking about hip-hop, they're going to say pretty much 9 times out of 10, you step out of line at least once, you are a culture vulture. He gets people indicted. He's a Fed. He asks questions. I just see him as an interview. And if I ask you a question, you could do the same thing that, what's his name? Pee Wee Longway. You see how Pee Wee Longway handled that situation? Don't answer. Don't get into it. A lot of these guys, they get into it. Is that his fault or their fault? But either way, he's not looked at in the highest light within the culture, rap community, online community, whatever. So his page just posted it. Didn't even say nothing bad. Right? So NLE Choppa mentioned him. He said, stop posting me, chump ass nigga. And then DJ Vlad, to defend himself, which, like I said, you talk shit about me, I talk shit back, that's fine. Says the chump who claims he cured cancer. I think back in the day or last year, some NLE Choppa was claiming that he had all these different things. And, he had, the cure for this, the cure that. Like I said, the Dr. Sebi method, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I would probably more trust Dr. Sebi and what he was experimenting on. He had a whole thing down there, I believe, in Costa Rica that people were flying out to. And I believe that more than, like, a starter herbologist in NLE Choppa. So they was going back and forth. The NLE Choppa with the thing, like I said, he's a culture vulture. You make money off of us and really don't fuck with the people, police ass. And then DJ Vlad said, you're a snake oil salesman. This year you claimed you have herbs that replace Brazilian butt lifts and breast implants. Last year you claimed you can cure herpes, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. You're a fraud. And the thing about it is, whether DJ Vlad is a culture vulture or not, the people are still going to go to his show. He's still going to get millions of viewers per month on his clips and his full episodes, and people are going to become members. So there's really no way to stop that, and I feel like people are still partaking in it, right? If people like Boosie are still going there and generating millions of views each month, the people like Young Jock are going there and telling all their secrets, whether it be T-Pain secrets we never heard, Diddy secrets we never heard, they're going to continue to go sit down with this guy. Then he's just going to keep on winning at the end of the day. What do y'all say? Culture vulture Vlad, but I do think they can't be up there self-snitching. Same here. Vlad don't even believe Dr. Sebi. He called him a fraud. So no surprise. Like, like, if people don't believe people like Dr. Sebi and NLE Choppa, for instance, I'm not even mad at that. Because most of us are conditioned to think like these things are not curable. You can't go to the jungles of wherever, grab a tea leaf, dry it out, spin it around, give it to someone, you cure cancer, you cure herpes, you cure whatever. Most people wouldn't even believe it. Even if they saw it happen one time, they'd be like, oh, that's a fluke. Or, oh, that had to be because of this. Or, oh, that happened because of that. So I'm not even mad that he don't believe NLE Choppa. But, fuck, what's my point? Yeah, I was reading the thing and I forgot what my point was. I know people who follow Dr. Sebi methods and the healthiest motherfuckers. I also know people who eat McDonald's every day who are healthy. So, well, I don't know if you eat McDonald's every day, you're necessarily healthy. Like we saw that. What's that documentary he had where he was eating McDonald's every single day for like 30 days and he tracked what he was before and what he was after. I don't know if that's the case. But NLE Choppa should do sound like Trey Taylor. Should do sounds. If I have this gel that you can rub on your ass and it'll give you a Brazilian butt lift. If you rub this on your titties, it'll make your titties bigger. That dude seemed like some fraudulent shit. So, and also, I'm thinking about this culture vulture work. Can you be a culture vulture? I guess you can, because they call academics a culture vulture and he's black. What would be considered a culture vulture? A culture vulture is someone who's taking from an art form, right, and profiting off it and not really giving nothing back to it. Would you guys consider, and this is a question I'm just posing for you guys, 'cause I thought about this when I was reading this thing. Oh, he's Coach Vulture. He's documenting this. He's making a lot of money off this. We've seen that come up with Adam 22 recently because Adam 22 sat down with the Ice Coffee Hour podcast, and he told them that he makes $1 million a month just from No Jumper. And people was looking at, and Polo G, I think, comment like, hey, look, we're going to these platforms, making them big, not getting nothing from it. They're getting great interviews. They're getting all this money. We need to, figure out how to get this ourselves. But like I always say, the media and music, it has to go hand in hand. Because they can't just get on Instagram Live every day, generate hype, generate success. Because at the end of the day, these media entities, these media platforms, people also like watching them as much as, not I don't say as much, probably like watching them more talking about situations than listening to some of you guys' music. So when y'all combine that, bring those audiences together, it only helps you at the end of the day. Now, if he's white, black, whatever, that could be a case. But you also got to hold the artist accountable because we can't have a conversation about, hey, why are these white people building up these audiences, getting all this money, talking about hip-hop, doing this, doing that, but when these artists are getting big, they're not reaching back and going to the black platforms. You can't have those two arguments going on at the same time. You can't be a Polo G getting mad at, hey, why are they doing this? Why are white people getting this? And we're not seeing you on certain other black platforms that are on the come up. Instead of if y'all are so mad, instead of going over to Vlad, go to Say Cheese. Instead of going to Adam 22, well, y'all don't like academics, but go to academics, go to the Breakfast Club, go to whoever else is young, black, and doing their thing. Go to Gilly and Wallow, go to Drink Champs, go to these other places instead of all these other places. It goes both ways. That's how I look at it. And if you're going to continue to go to these guys, that don't complain. That's how I look at it. That's it. I don't got no problem with them doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They're making money. They're interviewing people. And you can also tell the difference sometimes when you get a rapper or somebody sit down and talk with a white guy, how they're kind of like a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if they think it's like not competition there or something like that. Then when they go sit down with a black person, they're kind of standoffish. They're kind of off tempo. You can see the difference in some of these conversations when you watch some people. Reading the comments real quick. You have to be careful throwing the cure word around when you're selling products, even if it's true or not. It's other words you can use to get your point across. Like those fast-talking infomercial salesmen, that's why Choppa reminds me of when he starts speaking his cures. Well, Vlad do that, I consider someone who isn't involved in the culture, but profits off the negativity of that culture. I don't think culture vulture is always bad. It just hit different when they clearly not. That's your thing. I get it. I get it. That's your thing. He's not black. So, but what do you call? Okay, he's not directly like. I'm trying to think of it. So when he gets Boosie on there, right? And I think there's certain people that are regulars on his show. He pays them to be on there. So how do you think about that? Like, think about a guy like Lord Jamar. If Lord Jamar was only doing his own podcast and never did Vlad, never was able to get on that platform, do you think he would be as big as he is today? Right? When you think about a guy like Godfrey, now I'm not discrediting their talent-wise in their fields. I'm talking about just the art of being on the internet and talking. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not directly giving it up to Vlad. It's like Vlad gave them guys a career, but he gave them a platform, but they used their talent to, excel. So I obviously give the talent of the guys more credit than the platform. But if you can match your talent level with the platform that's also big, it's kind of like a springboard for you. Right? And if you don't have your own thing, let's say like a TK Kirkland, the newest ones he's been putting out is TK Kirkland, where he's asked about YSL. He's giving good opinions like that. I mean, I think it's giving people a good light and a good platform, whether you like it or not. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. Because like I said, these people who y'all don't like or these people who y'all do like are still going to continue to go onto this guy's platform because they see the numbers. I could look at this guy's social blade right now. Let's do it right now. Let me see. If you're an artist or if you're somebody that's young or anybody, just you're like a person, social media star, whatever you are, you know that if you go on Vlad because you have a personality. Not everybody go on there is going to get views. You also have to have some type of persona to get views. That's why TK Kirkland gets views. That's why Charleston White gets views. Not necessarily because of the platforms, but because of who they are. But they're using the platform as well. So if you go DJ Vlad, right? So this is his social blade. You can look at any YouTuber's statistics, all those things like that. If you're a person who's like, okay, I want to generate some buzz, I want to get my opinions out there, I want to do some talking, I want to do whatever. If you see a guy's getting 68 million views per month, right? And he has what? How many subscribers? 5 million subscribers? Realistically, why wouldn't you use that platform to your best advantage? If you think he built the platform off of the culture and all these things, why not just take advantage of his platform as well to build yourself? That's how I look at it. Because like I said, he's not going nowhere. He's always going to be there. So you might as well take advantage. If you think he's taking advantage of you, I might as well take advantage of him. That's how I look at it. Now, you might not get paid for it. I don't know how his paying scale goes. I think he only pays regulars from what I heard in certain interviews. But if you're going to get the platform, Just go and use the platform for good. Like when these black guys be saying Vlad's my friend, I cringe because we know he don't rock with y'all. He profit off y'all. People pick and choose. Probably so, because I never heard of Lord Jamar Godfrey, TK Kirkland before Vlad. Now I'm huge fans, even all of them, and follow their platforms, even though I don't watch Vlad anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a springboard for you. If you're talented, it makes sense for you to go on this platform. And if you're a rapper or if you're a person who has a criminal history and you know, like, it's an interview, we're going to talk about certain things. When they ask you something that's uncomfortable, or you know, like, hey, I can't fucking answer that, it's kind of easy to spin out of that and go on to the next subject. And also, this is another thing. As a rapper, I just got to get these expectations out there. As a rapper, if your whole persona is like your gang, what y'all do, how y'all act, like if that's all I have to go on, don't you think when I interview, I'm going to discuss these things about you? Because you're putting them out for free on your own. You're already putting these things out there on your own platform. And you're probably saying a lot more on your own platform than you're even saying on mine. So when we discuss these things like, hey, on June 3rd, you posted on Instagram this, don't get mad at me. You posted it. And now we're just talking about it in, conversation. You can say, no, I don't want to discuss it. But a lot of these guys don't do that. They just get to talking. So who's to blame for that? Is a 50-year-old Russian guy to blame? Or is a 35-year-old rapper speaking about the crimes that he did to blame? Mono, it's a little pit-pat thing. NLE Choppa, hip. You didn't know Godfrey wasn't soulful? Like, bro, I don't even know. But that's the thing. If that's the biggest thing I know Godfrey from is soulful, there's no disrespect to him because I think he's supremely talented. He's just on Brilliant Idiots as well. He's funny. He's great. But, like, that's not something that I remember Godfrey from. If that was like my first thought of Godfrey, it would most likely be a viral conversation, a viral moment that that he talked about on Vlad about a situation, certain things. Those just lyrics. Well, I'm not even talking about lyrics. I'm talking about like people getting on Instagram live, like for instance, for example, just and I'm gonna get off this in a second, but like for example, when you sit down with Young and Ace, or you sit down with Julio Fulio. And I know I always use these guys as an example. But if you sit down with them and say, hey, what's the beef with you and Young and Ace? You know what I'm saying? What's up? Why did you guys get into it? Now, there's plenty of ways you can answer that question. You don't got to get into detail like, hey, he killed my friend and people on my side. You ain't got to do all that. But you're just like, we two rappers in the city. We lit, heads clash. Like, there's a way you can answer it. But my point in saying that is, they're not just talking about the beef and lyrics. They're making Instagram posts. They're making videos about, like, they're doing these things about it. So don't be surprised when somebody asks you a question about something that you created and put out into the world. I think some of these people be confused, like, why is he bringing that up? You brought it up first. And now I'm just back there asking you about it. Now, people may not like it. People may not want it. It's federal. It's whatever. That's cool. But keep in mind, they put it out there first. From what I've seen, and I could be wrong, I've never seen Vlad or Adam pull something out of their back pocket and throw it on the ground, like on the table like a spade, that was some news that nobody knew about. Like something like that. I've never seen that happen before. But if people don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. If they do, they do. I mean, I don't really give a fuck. Right? So, nope, didn't know until like a week ago, LO, when he said on a podcast. So anyways, moving on from that, I want to get into I was gonna talk about the YNW Melly shit, but it's kind of like it's one of those things. Kind of like, to me, the YNW Melly shit is kind of like the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion shit. I keep hearing shit. Can we just get the trial already? Can we just see what evidence is gonna be laid out? Can we just see what they're gonna say? Because the newest thing that came out was that the case detective says that he was most likely the shooter, because if you don't know the details of the case, it's him and another guy that are on trial for it. But now they're pointing to YNW Melly being the shooter of his two friends. So, Adam does that with the local West Coast artists all the time. Well, see, okay, that's cap. Vlad always says things, and I was like, how you know about that? I ain't never seen that. The only person I've ever seen, let me go back to this real quick, then we'll get to YNW Melly. The only thing I've ever seen, and that's it, I don't watch everything. So my opinion, or my thought process, I'm basing off things that I've personally seen. So if there's other things where it's like, hey, how'd you know about this guy on 6th Street or whatever, that's okay. I concede to that. I'm not going to die on that hill. And even Adam 22 does that with local West Coast artists all the time. I've never seen, that as well. He's the narwhal of rap, but with incriminating people. See, like I said, I've seen compilation of asking people things, but every time I've seen a compilation, it's been of things that I've already seen out in the news. So, like I said, there could be. I mean, the guy puts out 1 million fucking clips a day, so there could probably be something in the mix that I may have missed or I may have seen. But whatever, I'm not dying on that hill. Anyways, well, YNW Melly, right? So they're saying he's probably the shooter of his two homeboys. The trial, this has been going at this since October 2018. Let's get to trial. Did he kill the people? Did he not kill the people? I don't know what's taking so long to get to the trial. But if he did kill him, he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life. Right? He's gonna you can't kill two people, stage it, roll them out the car at the hospital, try to act like it was a drive-by, and then they're just gonna let you go away, walk away, have a good time, and it's all good. And this is one of the things. I'm a square. In hip hop terms, people say, "Oh, you're a square because you're not a street guy, you're not whatever." I get that. I'm fine with that. But like, where does logic come into play here? Now, I don't know why. Right? I don't know why, if it's true, allegedly, YNW Melly killed his two friends. But it was always weird to me when it's like, hey, this guy killed two of his friends. Nah, fuck that. Free Melly. It's like, what if he killed, like, he killed two people, allegedly. Why are we freeing? But I think it's because, and even listen to Meek Mill, it's like, dudes who have been in the streets, they understand, I don't know, there's like another world out there of the streets. Like maybe these two guys tried to rob him one time, they're skimming him on some money. Like they could justify it in some type of street code manner. Regular people like me, I'm just looking at this guy killed two people. And then rolled their ass out the car at the hospital, took off, said it was a drive-by. But like I said, I'm not in that world. I'll never see myself condoning somebody killing people unless, you know, it's like very like immediate grave circumstances, or like even the UFC fighter who went and tried to shoot the guy who molested his nephew or his daughter or somebody over 100 times. Like I could see that being a reason why, but you know, I don't know. The whole drive-by story is gonna wash him. I just can never understand it. Now, you want to talk about him as an artist? We want to separate the act from the art? Yeah. I think YNW Melly, if he wasn't arrested, he potentially, possibly, maybe if he would have continued his career, kept on putting out music consistently, could have been one of the top talented guys, because the album he got, the one with that song with Kanye West, is a very good album. I mean, it's a very good album. It sounds good. It's pleasing to the ears. And I feel like he could have been, like I said, I don't think he's like a top person, but he would have been in a good space. But obviously, this murder trial has got him down in the dump. So as I say, Melly is charged with killing two of his YNW crew members, Christopher YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, in the early hours of October 26, 2018. Prosecutors claim that Melly and Cortland, YNW Bortland, Henry drove Thomas and Williams out to a deserted area where Melly shot and killed them. Henry, and then they say, then drove the bodies to a nearby hospital and falsely claimed that the crew had been the victims of a drive-by shooting. So pretty much that type of shit you see on TV, like, hey, drive them out to a deserted area, we're going to assassinate them, and then we're going to try to act like it was a drive-by. Maybe they were thinking, you know, we're black youth. Maybe they thought that we were potentially could have been in a drive-by. And they're also saying if he's convicted, he's facing the death penalty, which is kind of wild. But, you know, it's the life that you chose. And I don't know in 2018 what trajectory YNW Melly was on, because I wasn't really big on YNW Melly around that time. I think he even got his music career popping off a little bit of time after this, and then he got locked up. But it doesn't make any sense, man. You were like on the cusp of like millions of dollars and like fame and fortune. Unless you were in immediate danger, like they were trying to kill you and rob you because you were famous, that makes sense. But a setup killing, allegedly, not the smartest thing. And I can't really get behind the free you movement because, like, bro, you killed two people. But anyways, what y'all got to say? So the whole drive-by story is going to wash him. 75% of street rules really don't have no logic. Just a regular-ass civilian. Another singing nigga, they can keep him. So, yeah, Lo don't like the singing guys. He don't like the melody guys. He don't like people like that. But anyways, let me get to some other news. Like, let me get on the other side of the spectrum here, right? So, over the weekend, and you always see shit like this. Like, it's like we're locking up 30 people who are in these gangs, whether it's like in Brooklyn or whether it's in wherever you're getting these RICO charges at, YSL, for instance. Now, we're on like the other side of that of spectrum, right? So, 31 white dudes who are part of some shit called the Patriot Front were arrested in a U-Haul. They were on their way to cause a riot at a pride festival in Idaho, I assume that's what it's saying. So these are a picture of some of the of some of the guys that are a part of this what they call patriot freedom, and they're saying these guys are white supremacists. I don't know exactly if they're white supremacists. I know there's a group of white people that some of them do kind of got like white supremacist faces, so I could see why you would say that. So these are the crop of people that they caught up in that little that van, and then this is how dedicated you got to be, right? I don't know the weather in Idaho, right? But I do know there's a heat wave going on. For you to have like 20 dudes packed up in the back of a U-Haul, ready to go and just cause a riot at a Pride festival, it's kind of crazy to me. So anyways, police arrest 31 men found inside of a U-Haul truck near a Pride event in Coeur Idaho on Saturday. Police said they believed the men were affiliated with a white supremacist group and were intending to riot. It is clear to us, based on the gear the individuals had with them, along with paperwork that we seized from them, that they came to riot downtown. So the police chief says on Saturday at a press conference. So according to White, police were alerted by the U-Haul around 1:38 p.m. by a concerned citizen who said they saw members of the group getting into the back of the truck. The group was confronted by police about 10 minutes later. The men were seen on videos posted on social media all wearing khakis, navy blue shirts, beige hats, and cloth facial coverings. The outfit is similar to what is worn by the Patriot Front, which the Southern Poverty Law Group considers a white supremacist group. White said at least one of the men had an arm patch that said Patriot Front, and other had hats with logos consistent with those used by the group. Police also found shields inside the U-Haul, at least one smoke grenade, said White. All 31 men had been charged with conspiracy to riot, a misdemeanor, and further charges might be pending. In my opinion, I would gladly arrest 31 individuals who are coming to riot in our city for a misdemeanor rather than have them participate in some sort of seriously disruptive event, which is exactly what they were planning to do downtown. I don't understand, right? I just don't. This is the thing. Right, so there's a Pride parade. It's Pride Month. People are down there celebrating their pride. They're gay, LGBT, whatever they are. Like, I get it. That's fine. I just don't understand I want to cause a riot in a scene at that. Even if you disagree with it, I get it. That's fine. Cool. You disagree. I just don't get the point of rioting about it. I don't understand of causing disruption about it. You can be vocal, like, hey, I don't agree with this. There's certain things going on that I don't agree with. Like, for instance, I think this is something, honestly, stoked by fear and stoked by, obviously, hatred. Some people, these dudes probably like hate gay people, stuff like that. I'm just assuming. But when you see all these stories popping up, which I'm against as well, and when I say I'm against, I'm speaking about seeing them doing these drag shows around children. Like, I just don't get how that correlates to, hey, we should be doing this. Like we saw in Dallas, they had like a gay bar, and they said drag your kids to Pride, and these incidents going around town. We saw another one where this drag queen was like bust her legs open at some kind of event, and the kid was staring at them. It's like, these things shouldn't be happening, because we would never in a society allow children to go into strip clubs and watch grown women twerking and doing these things. We would think that's kind of weird, nasty sexualization of children. So I just don't see how on the other spectrum, people don't see that as a big deal as well, or at least say something about it. Now, do I think this is happening on a large scale? No, I think it's the fact that we have social media. We can see these things that go on here, maybe over here in this town over here. So we kind of make them feel like they're a national issue when they're probably a state and local issue at certain places. But like I said, social media has made the world smaller, but made issues bigger when they probably don't even affect you, your town, or your area. But that's just what the world that we're living in today. So I could think that is what culminates into people like this wanting to go and disrupt these things. Or maybe they just think LGBTQ is taking over America, or whatever logic they have in their mind, right? And I mean, I'm glad that these guys got caught, because the thing with this is you don't know what could happen once rioting starts, who could get killed, who could do this. You might think you're going there just to fuck with the people, just get this shit off our property, get this shit away from our kids and our community, whatever you're doing. But something can also go horribly wrong. And, you know, what you thought you were doing turns into something a lot worse. So, you know, I'm glad that they got stopped, because, like I said, I'm not here for anybody to get hurt, abused for the way they want to live their life. Let them do what they do. I just don't like when it affects you personally. That's when it's like, okay, back off. So all of that wouldn't have done nothing but make the event even bigger in that area. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have been just more outpouring of support. Like, if you want something, if you really want something to be done with, and you want something not to be talked about it, just don't give it air. But once you do that, you're going to galvanize. This is what happened. If those guys would have successfully went to that event, and those guys would have did whatever they wanted to do, that would have been the #1 national story in America today. It would have been white supremacists. This is how it was. White supremacists, Trump supporting Republicans, hate gay pride. They went here. They did this, harassing gay people. You making a movement. The president speaks about it. These radical conservatives are doing this. And even though it was only a 31 group of these people, and there was like 85 million conservatives, you'll paint the whole light on the whole thing. That's how the thing would have got spun if these guys would have successfully completed whatever mission they were intending on completing that day. But like I said, if you're a hate group, you're a piece of shit. I don't really give a fuck about you. So, like, I mean, it's a misdemeanor. They're not going to go to prison. But, like, I'm glad your plot was thwarted before you could do any harm to anybody. Right? So, and also that just would also pump up the January 6th shit. So, I don't even know if anybody, I was watching the Breakfast Club this morning, and they had Teslin I don't know how to say her last name. Teslin Figueredo, I think something like Figaro or something like that. And she was discussing, they asked her about January 6th. She was like, I don't really care about stuff like that. I'm more like pro-black. And I don't think the average black person cares about January 6th. And I don't think in this point in time, focusing on January 6th is the smartest thing like I feel like they think it is. Because we all know what it is. It's all about timing. Midterms are coming up. What can we use to get support on our side? Because it's looking like a slaughter is about to take place at the polls. The Republicans are going to win the House. The Republicans are going to win the Senate. And then, Biden will be the president. But pretty much the Republicans will be in control of America at a federal level, right? So it feels to me like, hey, we're doing this at this time to re-spark that imagery of look what happens when they try to take over. Look what happens when lawlessness takes place under Republican rule. Like, I feel like that's what they're trying to do with it. Do I think that it's a serious thing that shouldn't happen again? Yeah. I watched a documentary about the show on HBO. I said, those guys are cuckoo. Like, nothing to me is that fucking serious. Nothing to me is that serious to where we got to, like, break it to the Capitol, try to scream out, hang Mike Pence. And I'm not saying it's everybody there. There's some dumb motherfuckers just walking around like, oh, fuck, we're in the Capitol. But people that was doing that, they wild. They crazy. But it feels like, to me, just a thing. It's more like a political tool than an actual, hey, we care about this thing that happened, and we truly, genuinely feel like we should be doing an investigation on it. It's kind of like how I feel about the Trump-Russia shit. It's like, hey, this is something we could talk about. Hey, this is something we could use to, make that side off-putting, make that side kind of radioactive. So, hey, we're going to bring this up again. We complete our investigation now. Now we're about to start hearings and trials and all this type of shit. And that's what I thought when I saw yesterday they did the Alex Jones documentary. So, like, to me, it all looks coordinated. Like, okay, January 6th hearing, we held back this Alex Jones conspiracy documentary about him being a big part of January 6th. Throw that out there. He's a Republican linchpin. He's tied to Donald Trump. Like, it just looks all orchestrated. But at the end of the day, I don't think that shit's going to work. Because I say this over and over and over and over again. People don't really care about that shit. People are waiting. Like, when Bryce was on the podcast, when we was on the podcast with Bryce, absolutely sure. What did Bryce say? He said, I'm looking at gas prices. I never voted in my life. And I don't know if voting is directly tied to gas prices, but hey, I don't know what's going on. It ain't working with this guy or these people. So, hey, why not try the other side? People looking at that. People looking at their gas tank. Like, damn, it costs $5 to fill up gas. Damn, rent is exorbitantly high. Damn, food, there's a shortage on food. They're looking at these real life things. Abortion, yeah, that affects a lot of women if you ever wanted to get an abortion if it was federally banned. But in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't affect as many people as gas prices, food shortages, rent being extremely high, housing. We talked about housing on the podcast the other day. Housing being extremely high, even if that isn't directly correlated to Joe Biden. Like I said, I don't think that's directly correlated with government. But people will still think that, hey, motherfucker, you're the leader. Do something, at least. And also, everything you promised us, you say, hey, I'm going to forget $50,000 in loans. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You ain't doing that shit. So people say, fuck it, we're going to try something else. That's what I feel like they should be focused on. Not January 6th, not abortion, and not, what was another thing they're focusing on? The gun thing. I don't think they should focus on that. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's sad the kids got killed. But I don't think that's something that they should focus on either. Because that's like to me, that's like a, let me see how I want to say this. It's not a niche issue because I'm not trying to minimize the deaths of the children that died. But I'm saying it's a niche issue because it's one of those issues that happen. Like, damn, that's tragic. Damn, that's sad. And then most people move on. And like I said, most people are going to move on to high gas prices, food shortages, inflation, bad pay, this and that. One of my friends, he posted in a group chat, which kind of like make you really think about it. and I don't know anybody who's making minimum wage at this point in their life, but let's just say, for instance, gas prices are $2 cheaper than what minimum wage is. So just imagine like that discrepancy and that disparity going on. I saw someone, my wife showed me, one of her friends, right? They did one of these things where they're like, when your baby's born, you write down everything, like what's going on in the world. Like it says gas prices are this, average rent is this. Like you just write these things down to commemorate when you were born, this is how life was. And she posted, this was 3 years ago. Gas was $1.70. A 2-bedroom apartment in a nice apartment was $1,250. Now, in those same apartments, it's like $1,700. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not saying that's directly, on the Democrats. It's your fault that this is happening. A lot of factors play into it. COVID, the war. I'm not a fucking idiot. I know that. But the average day citizen, they think it's directly correlated to government. So you need to do a better job of messaging and letting them know, like, hey, that's not because of me. But then they're focused on other shit like that. Like I said, the gun thing is good because and this is the last thing I'm going to get, and I'm going to get up out of here. The gun thing is good. I have nothing wrong with trying to stop the guns because I saw this guy, Chris Murphy, who's a senator from Connecticut. 10 Republicans hopped on. They're doing this gun law. They're trying to pass it. So we have a deal today. A partisan group of 20 senators, 10 Democrat, 10 Republican, is announcing a breakthrough agreement on gun violence. The first in 30 years that will save lives. I think you'll be surprised at the scope of our framework. Here's what it includes. So, major funding to help states pass and implement crisis intervention orders, red flag laws that will allow law enforcement to temporarily take dangerous weapons away from people who pose a danger to others or themselves. Now, this one right here, I think this is the one that people are going to be most like pushed back on because who determines what is who determines this logic? Like who determines who the dangerous people are? Like, what determines a dangerous person? Is it a dangerous tweet? Is it a dangerous this? Like, what do you do that determines this? And I feel like people feel like, oh, the thing that you can spin on, oh, they're going to use it against their political opponents. If you say anything like this, they're going to take your guns away. Like, they're going to use it in that manner. But anyways, moving on. Billions in new funding for mental health and school safety, including money for the national build-out of community mental health clinics. I don't have no problem with that. If we're talking about, like, if you're a Republican, and you say mental health is a reason for these killings, I don't see how you could really go against voting for something like that. Now, maybe, like I said, y'all, oh, no, the red flag thing, y'all going to do yada, yada, yada. But like, that's something you should vote for. Close the boyfriend loophole so that no domestic abuser, a spouse, or a serious dating partner can buy a gun if they're convicted of abuse against their partner. To me, honestly, I don't think that's a bad idea. If we could take away people who go to prison, their right to vote, their things like that. If you are known as a domestic abuser and we see the amount of domestic abuse deaths that happen, you could probably curb that a little bit. Obviously, you want to eliminate it because some people's first time ever being, known that they're domestic abusers when they do cross the line and kill somebody, that's the difference. But I feel like I'm not too mad about that being the case. So then first ever federal law against gun trafficking and straw purchasing. This will be a difference-making tool to stop the flow of illegal guns in the cities. 6, enhanced background checks for under 21 gun buyers and a short pause to conduct the check. Young buyers can get the gun only after the enhanced check is completed. I spoke about this one. I have no problem with this because, like I said, we got to do all these things. I got to be 16 to drive, and I got to take a test. I got to go to driving school. I got to do this. I got to do that. I have no problem with, hey, you're 21, you're young, you want a gun. You're gonna get a gun. You're going to get it. Just, you can't get it that day. Let's run a little background check. Let's see your personality. Let's see what you like. And then you can get it later. I have no problem with that. Clarification of the laws regarding who needs to register as a licensed gun dealer to make sure all truly commercial sellers are doing background checks. Number 8, will this bill do everything we need to end our nation's gun violence epidemic? No, but it's a real meaningful progress, and it breaks a 30-year logjam, demonstrating that Democrats and Republicans work together in a way that truly saves lives. Like I said, I would like to see what they consider stipulations on what makes somebody dangerous and who has the authority to mark someone as dangerous to go in and take away guns from people. Because I feel like that, out of everything, to me, would give the biggest pushback because we don't know what that necessarily, what is the criteria for that. And I feel like that's going to be the thing that people push back on probably the most. Also, where is it at? People probably won't like the 21 and under, like put a pause on you. They won't like that either. But, you know, I think these are substantial things that could at least, like I said, never is going to stop it 100% completely. But, you know, if you're 21 and you know you're a good person, you know most likely you're going to pass your background check, just wait a second, get your gun in a week, and you'll be okay. This doesn't affect the majority of people. You just can't, go in there and say, hey, I want that AR, grab it, go, and be gone. But, you know, if you're a good person, you're going to get your gun. I just don't want, you to start, don't make it a what's that called? It's not a snowball. A slippery slope where it's like, oh yeah, anything now if you do X, Y, and Z, we'll take your gun. Oh, now it's if you do X, Y, and Z against whoever. Oh, we're gonna take it. Like, I don't like that shit. But it was like a set criteria that's in place. If you on social media saying you want to kill people, if you on this doing this, those are credible things, dangerous situation to get the gun away from you. Not, oh, he said fuck Joe Biden. Hey, we're gonna take his gun. Like, let's not do that. I'm not saying they are gonna do that, but that shit could go down a slippery hill, do a slippery slope, and it'll do whatever. So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys today, man. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I ain't gonna lie, that was a slow fucking news day. I had to really roll through that one. Salute to y'all for commenting because y'all added extra commentary to the conversation. Salute to y'all. Y'all are my co-hosts. So, anyways, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. D-Friend Daily, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the TikTok, D-Friend Daily. Subscribe to the Instagram, D-Friend Daily. All those things like that. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. It's your buddy, D-Friend. Peace.